Hello everybody! Today what we're going to do is we're going to take in some data from another text file and then we are going to plot that. So I'm starting with my bar plot, but we could do pie chart or anything really. And I am going to open up a text file. If I look at Notepad, Notepad is a good basic text editor. And so it's down in the corner here. It's just a boring text editor. So now I'm going to type in the information I want. Dogs, just going to do one space, 10, cats, 8, fish, 6, birds, 4, snake, 1, what other animals should we have? Should we have a hamster in there? And let's have 2 people have hamsters. Alright, so these are the animals. Oh, we could throw in a none category too. Maybe 7 people don't have anything. Alright, so this is our data. So we want to save this in the same place as our bar chart. So what I want to do is I want to create a folder. So I'm going to create a new folder. Call this bar chart. And now I'm going to come and I'm going to save this in bar charts. And I'm going to have it be animals.txt. Save it there. Alright, that's saved there. So now I'm going to go to my program. I'm going to do a file, save as. Make sure my program is saved in my bar chart. Call this bar charting. Alright, so now we have our data. So since our data is coming from somewhere else, we don't want any data in the count. We don't want anything in the pets category. But we do want to eventually plot that. So what we need to do is bring in the data. So file equals open, and I forgot what we named it already. Animals.txt. We're going to read it, so we have an R. Now let's just call this data because it has both the animal and the number. So we have file.read.split lines. Now, if I just said print data right now, we could take a look at this and see what it looks like. You can see it doesn't plot anything because there's nothing there, but you can see it's dogs 10 all in a quote, meaning it's all one string. So we need to split that up. So what we have to do is, I like using the word broken for some reason because we're breaking it apart. So it's broken, and we're going to break up data. But we want to break up each one at a time. So we can't just break up the whole thing. So we say for I in data. So that goes through each thing. So it'll look at dogs 10, and then cats 8, and so on. It'll look at each one separately. And so we want to break this apart. So let's say broken equals I, which is dogs 10, dot split quotes, and we just want one space and a quote. So wherever there's a split, it's going to break it into 2 different sections. So now it's going to be, so now if I should print this out so you can see what broken will look like now. What I hope that it will look like is 2 different lists. One, it'll have dogs and then 10. So dogs here, 10 here. Perfect. So each one is a separate list, and or a separate thing in a list. And so that's exactly what I'm hoping for. Now we just need to put these into pets. So and count. So I'm going to do pets.append. Now we want the first thing in broken, which is broken 0, because that 0 is where Python starts counting. And then we're going to do the same thing for count. Count.append broken and 1. Now I do have a problem here. Broken 1 is still a string, so we need to turn it into an integer before we can do anything. Alright. So now that all of this gets put up into here, then I think everything else should make sense. So when I run this, now we have a graph of whatever data we have in our other file. And so if somebody doesn't know much about programming, you can still tell them to type something in a certain format in a text file, and then you can just use this program to bring it in, and voila, we have a beautiful graph.